Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Chris and Nick here for our brand new podcast series called Coaching Conversations, which is an upbeat series where Nick and I get to ask commonly asked business questions, provide advice on overcoming real life business struggles, and provide you with the tools so that you can take more action in your business to get further faster. This is, of course, all wrapped up nicely in a little bundle in the already successful podcast, People, Profits, and Purpose podcast. And to listen to this episode and all of the other Coaching Conversations episodes, just head to peopleprofitspurpose.com and you'll be able to get the scoop on all of that. And today I want to welcome our leader, our founder, our thought leader, our speaker, what else is on the book? I'm not sure.
Awesome looking guy.
Awesome looking guy on the back of Apology, Mr. Nick Brusella. Nick, how are you today?
Very good, thank you, sir. I love those intros. It always makes me so much more important than what I really am.
Yes, good. It's all about pumping the tires, making you feel good as we jump into a session, and hopefully it gives the listeners something to laugh at.
Exactly.
So today, for you listening, it is episode 2. This is the second ep, and last time we had a lot of fun. Today we're wanting to speak about a few different topics, really. We've got 3 kind of solid topics that we want to jump into, and we may as well just get straight into it. It is COVID-19 related. We are still kind of coming out the other side of COVID right now. So the first thing that I really want to dig into today, Nick, really is if I'm running a business right now and my sales have dropped a little bit. So let's just put that into a scenario. It could be in any industry. And my sales have dipped down or dropped a little bit over the last 6 months. What advice would you have in regards to a plan, or what should I be setting into place to start increasing them again? Like, what advice do you have around growing sales if my sales have dipped and dropped out over COVID-19?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question, Chris. First of all, if sales have dropped over COVID-19, you're not alone. So anybody watching this video or listening to this video, you've just got to understand that we've never, ever seen a crisis at this level, even at the GFC level. I mean, GFC still had travel, still had catering, still had gyms open, still had everything, right? So it's something that it's a little bit uncharted. So if sales have dropped, I think typically you're going to take that on board and just say, look, I'm not alone. I need to not look back, I need to look forward. So the first thing that I want to kind of just speak about is kind of 3 areas, right? Number one is getting your head in the game. And the reason being is a lot of people, unfortunately, they become victims in this time. And I'm saying that some people actually have become victims. If you own a gym, restaurant, hospitality, tourism, whatever it may be, you work for the airlines, you work for parts that the planes need for the airlines, all of this stuff is affected, right? And unfortunately, as we become a victim, we start to go into, poor me, the world's going to end, all the rest of the stuff. Well, the world hasn't ended. We're starting to pull out of this. Countries are opening back up again, and there's opportunity. And the best part about it, too, is there's going to be money that people would have spent, probably aimlessly, where now they'll recalibrate and go, you know what, I could probably spend it with you. Let's take, housing as an example. People that didn't do their pergola, they were going to spend it on holiday. Now we'll probably spend it on the pergola, right? It's those things. It's almost like we've had a recalibration of what's really important. Think about it like that, right? So the one thing is to try to get your head back in the game, because I believe every time that you're in a negative space, your head will follow. And funny enough, the sales part follows with it. Have you ever noticed when everybody keeps saying no, 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 you start to kind of doubt yourself. You're like, oh my God, I can't turn one page right, I can't put one foot right. All of this negativity starts to creep in. In turn, you just lose your confidence. And in selling, if you lose confidence, it's kind of not a good thing, right? And I feel that the first thing you really need to work on is just, I like what you just used before, pump the tires back up, pump yourself back up, get refocused, because you were doing sales before this anyway, right? So, it's like that thing to get your head right. I've noticed that if I'm flat, the sales are flat. If I'm excited, the sales are exciting. The prospect on the other end is excited, because it's my energy that we're giving off. Think of it like that, right? So number one is that. Number two, my personal opinion is what a lot of people have gone through, especially with the decrease of sales, is either A, their client base wasn't as strong as what it could be, and I don't believe that they've planned for dips. So in other words, they've always gone, well, we need to hit these targets all the time, hit these targets all the time. And if they were used to hitting these targets all the time, and now you've had a shift global shift for the last 2 or 3 months, that they weren't prepared for that, you've got a problem. And a lot of people, to just add to that, a lot of people were very, very, very reliant on one source of traffic. And if that one source of traffic has changed, well, that's it, right? And a lot of business owners only just looked at the front end. So how do I get new leads, where they're very, 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 very rarely look at the great customers that they've got already, or the past customers, or the past inquiry that they actually haven't really done much with, right? So it's part 2 to this is to go, let's just have a look at the overall sales, let's call it pool, and start to think about, where have we been focusing on? Has it been all the front end? Has it been just the middle end and we just get referrals and that's it, and we've forgotten about front end sales? Or is it the back end where we've never really chased up a person that's inquired 6 months ago, 12 months ago, 2 years ago, 1 month ago, 4 days ago, whatever it may be? And a lot of business suffer with this. Their pipeline in sales is very, very rarely really good at the end of the day. So that's 2. So number 1, get your head right. Number 2, just have a look at the pool to see where it's at. And number 3, I believe, to really start to increase in sales, you need to increase in energy, because we know that wherever energy goes, usually action follows, and that action creates momentum, and that's really what we're after. A lot of people are used to, getting the leads through. Maybe their social media accounts have been closed down, or, they've had a bit of a hiatus because people aren't spending on that, or people just aren't spending in general. They're worried about COVID, so there's less inquiry. Now, if you're in online stores, your inquiry should be really good, right? Because it's just a shift, right? So the importance there is to really start to increase momentum. How do we do that? By going back and literally, I'm going to use the no stone left unturned campaign. And that means, what can we do to connect with people in the past, call people that we haven't spoken to for a while, just kind of, you've done a lot of that. Now, if you're a new business owner and you don't have that, well, guess what? It's time to go, am I in a business to consumer space or business to business space? Can I get out there and just drive more of that momentum? It's funny, I was just talking to one of my clients, Nathan, and I think we mentioned him in the previous show, and we were talking about, he was flat, thought he was out, end of the world business. Just spoke to him today, and he's like, biggest month ever in May. He goes, I've been reaching out to all these builders that I've connected with. One builder just gave him 45 slabs, which is massive in concrete. It's $1.2 million worth of slabs. And he goes, there used to be 2 people doing it. They only want to do it with us now. And he's got another 45 or 50 coming in end of June, so they'll literally get 90 to 100 slabs, and just that one connection point is $2.5 million a year, which is pretty awesome. So and he wouldn't have done that pre-COVID. He just hasn't had the time pre-COVID. Think of it like that. So
yeah, wow, that's amazing for Nathan, number 1. But number 2, I really want to attach onto that point, and for people listening, I'm going to reinforce that. Nick spoke about mindset. Number 1, getting your mind right. Then also expressing the right form of energy. And it's so true, because I've experienced that I could think of 3 clients off the top of my head right now, where simply by shifting their energy and shifting, where their thoughts are going, where their focus is going, from a place of limitation, from a place of negativity to abundance, or I guess from expectation through to abundance, everything's 180 to turn the other direction. So I think just shifting your mindset, shifting your energy and your attitudes towards, I will make this work. I am going to be abundant in the sales that come through. I know they're coming. I have faith in that. It's amazing what really shifts. So I think you're right. Putting energy out there, and what you put out, you'll get back.
It's crazy how this is. I went for a drive into the countryside, and a place called Bilpin, which is where you go apple picking, right? And it was devastated, bushfire, like all the way through it. Like, these are big orchards, apples, apricots, pears, all these type of things. It was devastating. I mean, to plant that stuff takes forever. Anyway, I'm driving through it, and out of the black chard, all these green things are starting to come out, flower, fruit. Yeah, and my mate just went picking there actually last week, and yeah, and what does that mean? It means that after every devastation, we've seen it globally, tsunami, nuclear thing, right? All of these things, floods, whatever. There's always a rebuilding, and this is what's exciting about now. I don't know about you, but I feel it in the air. I feel this. People are starting to. The wheels are starting to get moving again. I mean, but some people go, "Oh man, the traffic, it sucks. It's this. It's oh shit, I can't find parking." I'm like, hey, you've got the best part about COVID today is you've got the choice. If you want to engage at that level, go for it. If not, you can hang out at home and it's still all cool.
Yes.
So, like around sales, it's most business owners look at the death rather than the life. And if you haven't been cool at selling, well, maybe in the last 2 months, you should have got better at selling because now's the time. Let's get going and you can get new product out there and just, like you're saying, energy creates outcome to me. That's how I think about it.
Yeah, that's it. Write that down if you're listening to that. Energy creates outcome. It's so true. Because I've worked with clients, you've worked with clients that have had some great success off that. So if you're not clear on your sales game, if you're not happy with your sales game right now and you're listening to this and you're thinking, or you might be, adversely thinking, I'm down in the dumps, things aren't working for me. It's a matter of shifting that around and shifting your energy. It's amazing what might happen if you look at it a different way, right?
Yeah, well, look at us, like best month we've had. So it's,
when people say, it's funny because we coach many businesses across multiple industries, but I've had people in the construction industry say, there's nothing moving. But then I've got clients in the construction industry with more leads than they can handle.
Than they can handle. It's crazy.
So,
right?
That's really interesting. And I think it's all about energy again. If they're just putting the right energy out there,
yeah, correct.
It's amazing what they'll attract.
Yeah.
So that kind of leads on to my next point, my next question here. And this is a little bit more about personal perspective, being, becoming a successful business owner from a personal perspective. It's about morning routines. And I know that I think you've been writing about this on your email list, Nick, but if someone, and I think it starts at the very beginning of your day, and I know that I've written about this and written blogs about this and all sort of stuff, but creating a morning routine, I think, is like foundational for how you start your day. It gives you the energy that you need. It puts your mindset into the right space. And as Tony Robbins calls it, puts you into a beautiful state at the beginning of your day. But if you don't have a morning routine, or if you're listening to this and you don't have a morning routine right now, what would be your advice, Nick, to change that as a habit? Not necessarily what should you do, but how would you change the habit of going from no morning routine to morning routine?
Yeah, perfect. That's crazy, right? Let me tell you this. I'm working with a client, very successful, multi-million-dollar business. I noticed that he's always fluctuating. Sometimes he's cool, sometimes he isn't. And he had a situation where, stuff up at work cost him 20 grand or something like that. It's not even about the money for him. It's more about it hurt his ego, right? And anyway, and I spoke to him and I said, hey, dude, man, I said, it always feels like I don't know who I'm getting for a session. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, sometimes you're cool, sometimes you're like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And I'm like, dude, I need to ask you a personal question. I'm like, do you suffer like with a bit of depression or something like that? And he said, dude, I don't know if I suffer with depression. He goes, but if something sends me off, he goes, it pisses me off all day. He goes, and I get home and he's got 3 or 4 kids, right? Young boy, like young kids, and twins and 2 others. Or 1 other, I'm not sure, 3 or 4 kids. Anyway, and he goes, I get home, he goes, and I bring that mood with me. And he goes, I just got the shit. And I'm like, well, but when does something happen? He goes, something during the day, whatever, this, failure that he had and all of this stuff. And I'm like, so your kids are kind of waiting for you. They love to hang out, because they're looking forward to you getting home. It's like my kids just walked through now and I'm saying hello to them and all that stuff. And he goes, yeah, I just don't feel like talking to him, I'm like, well, that's a bit selfish, to be brutally honest, man. I said, because all they want from you is just to hang out. I said, and to be honest, I said, when you get home, you should be able to take the Clark Kent Superman, the Superman cape off, and that's it, you're Clark Kent then. I said, Superman's always Superman, his alter ego is Clark Kent, not the other way around. So, but when he's in the cave or when he's Clark Kent, he's cool. He doesn't flex his power or do any of that stuff. I said, you kind of got to do that for work. And then when you go to work, here comes a routine. You know, put the Superman cape on, and that's it. You're in work mode. It's like we were talking about. So with me, the beginning, I believe, is actually a shift in process, how you act around it. Let me give you a perfect example. So with me, you know, I've got my home office here. So 2 doors out of here is my bedroom, right? And literally it's 5 steps. But every day, and you know this, before I go to work or I'm on, and usually I'm up at 4:45 in the morning, you know, go exercise, do whatever, hang out, meditate a bit, all that stuff, right? Do the routine. But as soon as then I come back, I'll grab something to eat. Usually my family's waking up, moving through there because I've got to go to school, work, and all that stuff. And after I've done that, I have a shower and I get changed into my shirt. So I'm wearing a shirt, I've got jeans on, right, and shoes. Now, I don't have to. I could literally be in my undies if I wanted to do that, especially if I don't have to see clients. But whether I see clients or I don't, that wouldn't be a good side in the undies too, by the way. But, you know, just to
make for a pretty interesting YouTube video.
Make for a pretty interesting YouTube video, right? Yeah,
maybe we could do...
It's the Nick and These Undies show.
We can do coaching conversations undressed.
Undressed, yeah. It's the special XXX series, yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, just pay attention to that, guys. We will release that.
We will release that. Yeah, we'll let you know. It's an After Dark series. Yeah.
That's enough.
Right. So, yeah. So what I do is I actually put my shirt on, right, and with the shirt comes a particular level of shift in mind focus. I'm in work mode. That's it. And people, even my wife, she goes, "I thought you didn't have clients today." I said, "I know." She goes, "Why are you wearing a shirt and your jeans?" I'm like, "Because I'm at work." She goes, "But you're at home in your home office." I'm like, no, I'm at work. And that to me, do you see, it then puts me into work mode. I'm focused, it's money, it's serving our clients. And to be honest, I feel a bit embarrassed if I have to go and see a client or like this, like a Zoom, and I'm just in a t-shirt. I feel a bit, not only embarrassed, but I feel like I haven't, yeah, but your t-shirt's got up, Coach. Like it's kind of
that's right.
Branded t-shirt. Yeah, it's almost like I feel like I'm doing them a disservice by not paying them the respect that they're paying me for, and that's an interesting shift, right? So number one is how do you get into the game by putting something on, wearing something, touching something, looking at something. You know, we call it the lighthouse effect, right? Like to kind of get yourself kind of centered. Number one. Number two, it's important to recalibrate what the routine is about. So for me, the routine isn't just about my health. I mean, obviously, I feel good when I exercise, but it's actually because people are relying on me being healthy. It's the other way around. And here's what I mean. If you're a business owner today and you're fat, overweight, eating shit, smoking, you know, drinking too much alcohol, fucking partying all the time, all of these things, you've really got to consider how good can you possibly do your job. Now, I mean, if you're an influencer and, you know, alcohol is your thing, I'm like, all right, maybe you're doing your job right? You know, there are those guys right out there. Yeah. If you're a damn Bilzerian hanging out with all those, you know, naked women or alcohol, that's or smoking weed, that's their job. But, you know, it's all kind of fake, right? But what I'm saying is that mind shift that most people don't think about. It's not about going to the gym and pumping out weights. I mean, you can exercise anytime you want. The idea for me is I go, people are relying on me, so I need to keep this body, this temple healthy, because without it, then I'm sick, I'm not focused, I can't think about stuff, you know, I'm flat. And, you know, when I did my injury on my leg, I was 6 months almost in the boot. And it was hard. It was one of my low periods. Through that, I had the heart condition, all that type of shit. And now I'm like, you know, every day's a great day. Not only that, but number two, I've got a bigger purpose. So this is kind of point three. You know, point three is the bigger purpose. What I mean, if you don't exercise, if you don't get into the morning routine, if you don't eat well, if you don't drink water, if you don't do all of that stuff, what's it going to turn into? You know, my brother-in-law just went to the doctor's, man, he fucking smokes, drinks, and he never used to be like that. And now the doc goes, hey, dude, like, you know, you're pickling your liver. That's not good. And you're about to get emphysema. And I've been telling him for 3 years, dude, you got to give up the cigars and you're partying a bit too much. He's like, you're just a bit younger than me. And I'm like, dude, you know, like, I get it, have fun, do it, but dude, you can't every weekend. And sometimes these guys are polishing 5-6 bottles of vodka between 6 or 8 people. I'm like, hey man, you know, go for it. I'm cool with it, but you know, he's got 5 kids. You got to look after that stuff. So,
Yeah.
and I love it. This isn't against him. It's just more to show when you're out of routine, the slippery slope that you could be turning into. And in turn, funny enough, his business has gone radically downhill. This is insane, right? And, I don't know. I mean, it could be no coincidence whatsoever, but I always do feel that if you're on your game health-wise and physically and mentally and emotionally, usually you're on your game, through your business-wise, right? So that's an important.
Yes. Yeah. So you're really finding something to help you make that shift from, let's call it home life to work life. I love that Superman Clark Kent analogy. That's brilliant. And for anyone who's thinking about that, the superhero bit is when you're at work. That's when you're,
Correct. Superman is when you're at work, not when he's
That's right.
in.
Yeah. You're at work for your team, for yourself, for your customers.
Yeah.
So that's...
And we've seen this a lot too, by the way. Top athletes wear, their shirt underneath that they always play with, or, their shorts underneath of that, or they've written something on here. And we could talk about that in another session. But what I'm trying to share with you is most people try to make it too hard for themselves. The routine is just basically not giving up to your mind going, oh, just sleep for another hour.
Yes.
That's why I go 4:45 to wake up, because for the next 15 minutes, I'm usually telling myself, it's all right, man, just hang out, sleep a bit.
Stay in bed.
And then at about 5 or 10 past 5, I'm like, no, snap out of it, get up. Because as soon as you go, I'm getting up, there's your routine, it starts. Do you know what? Some people are buzzing the alarm 25 times.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what time I go to bed, by the way, whether it's 3 in the morning, 12, or 10 o'clock. Usually I'm sort of 10 o'clock, 10:30. I'm still up at that time. I like to beat the alarm.
Yeah. And for those of you that think that's BS, it's not, because I've been on tour with Nick and it's still 4:45. When you're sleeping in the same room, he's still getting up.
Let's get up. Yeah, exactly. So, it's morning or afternoon routine that you got to get into gear for.
Yes.
Talking about this customer, I said, look, in the morning you need to do this, this, and that. Breathe a bit, do some exercise, 20, 30 minutes, move the body around.
Yes.
Drink some water. We spoke about this, right?
Yeah.
No caffeines yet, diary, a couple of little things. I said, dude, just make it 45 minutes of your own time. Then the kids get up, hang out with them, do whatever. I said, dude, you can go to work 40 minutes later. It's not going to be the end of the day,
That's it.
all cool. I said, and then when you get home, before you get home, in the truck, just spend 10 minutes of journaling, what was good about your day, what was shit about your day. He goes, well, why would I do that? I said, because you just let that shit stuff go at the door. It's out, you're done, close the book, switch the car off, walk into the thing, turn that frown upside down, and now you're ready. I said, because it's not fair on the other people if you're carrying that baggage with you. Have you ever met somebody that it's like they've been carrying the same hate in their heart for like 10 years? Or,
yes,
my ex-girlfriend did this, and I'm like, man, just snap out of it. Like, how long will you carry that around for? It's, and people are, we spoke a bit about the thermometer and the thermostat in one of our other sessions, where people with the thermometer, they get it changes their day depending on the exterior world, right? If it's hot, if they're hot, if they're cold, they're cold. Yeah. Where the thermostat, you set the regulator to the temperature that you want. And it's the same as work. I mean, if in 10 hours of work, you haven't got over something and you've got to bring it home, even if it's money, by the way. Money seems to be one of the biggest worries that we have. It's not fair on the people that are at home, because they're like, hey, we don't have this baggage with us. Why do you? And you just sent me a thing on the weekend. It's insane. He goes, dude, I rode 135 kilometers across the weekend, exercised, took the kids out. He goes, man, it's amazing what a change of spark plugs will do to the engine. Like, he's like this. And today he sent me a thing back, and he goes, showed me a picture of his son riding. He goes, me and my son, his son's only young, like 11 or something, did 36 kilometers on the bike together. It's pretty awesome, right? Like, wow. He goes, dude, I feel on fire. I'm like, perfect.
Yeah, wow.
And that's it. So I know his business will, he's kicking it already, but be even better.
Yeah. So it's just finding that ability to change, because that change is going to create that change ultimately for you. But
correct.
Finding something that will initiate, like you said, sitting up out once, as soon as you sit up out of bed, boom, you're ready to go. Or if you're getting out of the shower and putting your work clothes on, it's them. Or if you're getting in the car and then you're getting ready for work, it's making that shift.
Making that shift. That's the true difference of getting a routine or not getting a routine is that, I hear the dog, she's scratching at like 5:30, 5:45. It's like, come on. And I'm like, all right, today it was like blowing a gale outside. I'm like, no, we've got to go. That's and now shortly I'll take the kids now. So it's not the best weather outside, but you just got to do it.
Good.
The dog loves it. Makes me love it.
I think part of it too is structure and following, like humans operate better under structure.
100%.
That's why schools operate to like, there's a set time frame for classes, then there's like a morning recess, a lunch, starts the same time every day, finishes the same time every day. It's the structure.
You're 1000% correct. It's interesting. My kids are 11 and 14 now. You've got two young kids. One thing that my wife just does perfectly is being a mum. She's like the best at it. Like millions of other mums are the best at it. And I always asked her, why did I have to go to sleep early? Like this is till like 2 years ago, 7:30, it's adios, right? And she goes, because it's routine. I need routine. And when they were younger, it was like, bed, pajama, 6:30 or something. And they slept and my kids are early risers. So 5:30, 5:45, Tiana's up, Philip's up. And I notice if they go later, and he's 14 now, so he's like all pushing the, gangster vibe. Come on, Dad, another hour. He goes, mate, it's Saturday, it's 10:30 or whatever.
That's right, like, Philip. We're talking about you on this episode.
Yeah, exactly. It's like 10:30, and I get it. And, I was thinking about it yesterday. I'm like, well, is he at the age to kind of make that decision on his own? And I believe he is. I mean, he's 14.
Yeah, he probably is, yeah.
But I noticed, yesterday I went to bed a little bit early because of school. And, he's up fresh. That's what I love about my kids. Some kids wake up and they're moody for 2 hours. Mine are into it, man. We could just go and do a marathon together because it's routine. I mean, that routine, the time they eat, how they get up, shower, all that stuff. And the humans need that. It's a reverse psychology. It's the more routine, the more freedom you have.
Yeah,
because then that's the time for exercise. That's the time for the morning. That's the time I should finish work. That's the time and if you can't get shit done in 8 to 10 hours, either systems aren't right or your strategy's not right. And not to say that sometimes you've got to put it in, we've put it in plenty of time, but it's, if you're doing 16 hours a day.
Yeah. I've got a really good quote. It's time will come to those who create it, not to those who try and find it.
I love it.
I don't even know who wrote that, but I found
it's perfect.
And that's all comes back down to structure. And again, back down to routine, like where we kicked off from. Having that routine and that structure in your life, you're actually going to be more productive, more efficient, and you're going to get more done if you follow the same sort of routine every day.
Yeah. So what is it? Here's the three takeaways, I suppose. Number one, get your head into gear so you're good. Number two, can you put, a piece of clothing on you or something that just signifies the shift between work and home? And number three, what's the real big reason why you need to do this? And if you're a professional entrepreneur like we are, I think about partying on a Saturday night or a Sunday. So I go, am I going to be effective on Monday? Now, this could be maybe my age, I don't know, 50 or whatever. And, I'm thinking that shit because, I spend a lot of time playing in bands and rock and roll and girls and partying. But I've always thought like that, to go, I can't write myself off so bad that I'm, suffering for 3 days. My mate does that. He gets like tanked so much that he's suffering for 3 days. And then I'm like, was it worth it? He goes, I don't know. He goes, but at the time I wasn't thinking about it. I'm like, dude, that's a routine for you because you do it all the time. You tell me
that's right.
And he's my age. And by the way, I'm not judging him. I'm down to whatever. It's cool, but I've got a bigger purpose that I need to achieve. And in saying that purpose, I make choices that go with that. Some people don't get into routines because they think that their biggest driver is business and making money and supporting their family and doing all that stuff. Where funny enough, the routine of exercise will make you even more effective at doing that. It's the other way around. The better you exercise, the better your business.
Yes.
not the other way around. Not the more time you spend in the business and the less you exercise or do your morning routine, the better the business becomes. It doesn't. You get burnt out.
Yeah.
It's
And
crazy, right?
yeah. No, you're
Because the
so true. So right.
athletes become stronger on the recovery,
Yes.
not in the cycle of exercise. You know,
Exactly
crazy,
right. So for those of you listening right now, we're going to wrap up shortly because I've just had a look at the time and I don't want to soak up too much more. But, you know, it's part, and you're spot on with that, Nick. It's a matter of investing in yourself to a certain degree, which will make you more powerful in business. And it's not, like you said, it's not the other way around. It's not spend more time in the business than work on yourself. It's actually the other way around. And I've done it and I've tried it and I practice it and it works. And
what's the word? The buck stops at you, but it's like it should be that the exercise. Well, the buck stops at you because if you're not healthy, there's no you.
Yes, I always say it to business owners: if you're not right, nothing's right.
If you're not right, nothing's right.
So you got to start with yourself first. So there you go, folks. There you have it. Hope you enjoyed everything today. That we only really got through 2 things, but they're pretty chunky. So I'll throw in the last point into tomorrow's or next episode. If you have any questions or anything you want us to chat about, if there's a topic that you want us to cover, let us know. ask@nickmasala.com.au. Just shoot it through in an email and we'll see that. We'll be able to put that into these episodes. Coaching Conversations. I hope you enjoyed it today. Thank you so much for your time, Nick. And I guess we'll see you all again, or at least speak to you all again real soon. So bye now.
Coming at you with Coach Chris and Coach Nick.
That's right. Maybe you should sign off next time.
Yeah, that's fun.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.